Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and let's begin. So we're going to go ahead and begin with our risk disclosure. Okay, here it is. So just want to remind everyone that the content that is published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information, again, is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Okay. Again, nothing contained here is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. So now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, guys, we're going to go and move into our news portal here. Just get a sense for what news we have today that could impact the markets. Well, today we have the FOMC, which could very well impact the markets. Okay, so today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. Okay, coming in at 2 p.m. And then for those who trade crude oil, okay, we have the inventory report coming in at 10:30 p.m., 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, and then I would say those are probably the two main events. We have some note yield decisions reports that are being published. But I would say the biggest news event and something that we probably need to sit on the sidelines for today is the FOMC. Okay. Tomorrow we have the U.S. initial jobless claims, and that for the most part wraps up the major news events for this week. Okay. All right. So now that we have an understanding of the news events that could impact us in the markets, let's go ahead now and turn our attention to the markets themselves. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up our charting platform here. Okay. We're going to do that, and then we'll get started here. Okay. So let's see. All right. So let's get a lot of bars. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's move to our charting platform and make sure that's visible to everyone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with a gold market as we normally do when we do these sessions, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart and kind of get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay, so you can see here that the market continues, the gold continues to show signs of some weakness. Okay. You can see here that we've made 1, 2, 3, and developing a fourth day of bearish activity. Okay. What is interesting to note is the fact that we actually had a gap open that was filled, but we had a gap open to the downside. Okay, so we opened with a gap downside, filled the gap, and now we continue to develop a bearish candle here. Okay, so overall, you can see that we remain in some sort of consolidation range in this market. But of late, I would say that the gold market has been a bit bearish. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range here for a moment. Let's see if I can locate that here. Okay, we're going to turn this off here for a moment. Okay. Now you can see here that price outside of this most recent candle has been quite bearish. Okay, so you can see that we are below some of the settlement prices that we've had over the last few days. Okay, you can see that up until this most recent candle, uh, price has been below our VWAP. Okay. Now, the other important fact here is that we have come into an area where we could potentially find some buyers here. Okay, so this is a known area. Okay, where we could see some support in this market. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mark that area as supportive, as because we do see evidence of bullish price action in this area here around let's say 32.92 as low as say 31.86 or 32.86, 32.81.6. Okay, has you can see here that this is we're coming into some areas where we could see some supportive price action. Okay, so 4 hour, although showing again remaining bearish, we are coming into an area where we could find some support. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to take a look at our fixed range volume profile to get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value area. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to locate the start of Tuesday, which is back here, and then drag that across to the close of Tuesday right here. And you can see that price is very much inside value, middle of value from yesterday. Okay, we did breach yesterday's value range, not just once, but twice, 3 times, a 4th time, only to find buyers. Okay, now the most recent buyers have been able to drive price above some price structure here. Okay, we have a developing candle here that's above some of this price structure. Okay, and it's doing it here. Okay, let's open this up here a little bit more if we can. You can see that it's being supportive with volume. Okay, so this could very well be an indication, at least on the short term, that we are in store for maybe a potential rally. And it would not be out of the realm of possibility here that we could rally back to settlement price or this high of ASR here up as high as 33.17. Okay. I'm going to go ahead now and open up the initial balance range. Okay. We're going to kind of reduce the size here of, let's go ahead and remove this here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and open up the initial balance range. We're going to change this from Asia to London, not London, but New York. Okay. Okay. And you can see now that you can see the initial balance range that's being established. Okay. So we have closed a rather strong bullish candle followed by another bullish candle here. Okay. So at least on the short term, it does appear that we maybe have found potentially some buyers of this market. Okay. We're going to go ahead and add the anchored VWAP to this discussion here. Okay, anchored VWAP. We're going to go ahead and I guess find the start of London here. Okay, and you can see that price is above London as well. So on the short term, we're starting to see some signs, especially on the 30-minute chart, that maybe that we found some buyers of this market. Okay, certainly we have a path. Okay, assuming that we can get above and hold above this 33.05 level. I do believe that we have a path at least to get up to 33.16.5. Okay. So headed into the market, although the market has been somewhat bearish, I think leading up to the FOMC rate decision, it does appear that maybe the market is looking or turning a bit bullish, at least on the short term. Okay. I do see that there is again a pathway up to at least the 33.17 level, given the series of candles that we have here, supported by volume. Okay, moving on to the crude oil market. Crude oil market. We're going to go ahead and start off with a daily chart here. Start off with a daily. Okay, so you can see here we had a few days here of some, I guess I would say, relatively bullish behavior. Okay, we managed to fill in the gap. Okay, with this bullish behavior. Okay, we had a gap open to the downside. Okay, we closed that candle, and then we had a series of candles that closed that gap, now showing signs that maybe we could see maybe a continuation of price to the downside. Okay, so daily is looking, I guess, has always been a bit on the bearish side. But the fact we're getting a little bit of indecision candle here maybe is giving us maybe an indication that we could potentially see maybe a continuation move here to the downside. Okay. We have right now a developing kind of bearish candle. It's a bit on the indecisive side with selling wicks. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart here, we can see that we have a bearish engulfing candle that's developing on this market. We see that we are developing a little bit of a double top pattern here. Again, another indication, okay, that we could see price continue to the downside. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and you can see that we've already gotten a reaction of our ASR here for a bit. Looks like London. Okay, we reached this ASR range here around 69 level and located some sellers. Since then, price has continued to the downside. We're below VWAP, below our settlement. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile to get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drag that across here to the close of the session, right about there. Okay, and similar to what we were seeing in the gold market, we are now inside the value area from yesterday's session. Okay, again indicating that we could potentially see some price action that might be a little bit more in the way of range. All right, we did during the overnight, and I guess into the overnight. Okay, into the overnight session. Okay, into London. We did rally above value, but that was rejected. Okay, so certainly now we're below VWAP, below our settlement price. So it stands to reason that we are destined maybe to reach maybe the other side of the ASR range down below here, around 67.61, possibly as low as 67.40 before we see any sort of reversal in price in the crude oil market. We're going to go ahead and add our anchor VWAP to this discussion here. Okay, this is the start of London right about here, and you can see that price is below not only our daily VWAP but also below our anchor VWAP, all giving us indications that maybe we could see additional price action to the downside. And as you can see here below, we are seeing this volume is supportive of the current price move to the downside. Let's open up the initial balance range here because the market is indeed open. So we are developing a relatively wide initial balance range. Again, just want to remind everyone today is the inventory report. So we will have a inventories kind of being reported here in the next little over an hour. Okay, so that obviously can shake up the markets, and maybe their participants have maybe gotten an inkling as to what the report might say. Okay, and that's kind of why the market is potentially selling off here. Okay, so heading into the session, at least from my vantage, at least on the short term, it does appear that the market heading into today's session is a bit on the bearish side, and that we should look for locations to participate to that side. Okay. All right, let's go ahead now and move on to the equity markets. I know that a number of you are quite interested in understanding the equity markets. So here we are on the daily. here you can see that over the course of the last few days, okay, we have seen a little bit, I would say, a little bit of tiring momentum. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit more in the way of overlapping candles here, both to the bullish and to the bearish side. But the market nonetheless continues to drive higher. Okay, we have a developing bullish candle here. Okay, and we continue at least on the daily side, indicating that we remain bullish. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, you can see we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range again, and you can see here that we've kind of created a little bit of a double bottom here. The candles of note that are particularly catching my eye here at this point is the fact that we closed a rather strong bullish engulfing candle, and now we have a current candle that is challenging to close above some price structure here. Okay, so again, the 23,000 level continues to be an area of importance. We have not been able to close above it, but we have another candle here that is showing that is quite promising, that has the potential of maybe closing above this level and could continue higher. Okay, so 4-hour indicating bullish price action. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart, you can see that we are developing a bullish engulfing candle here just before the open of the markets here. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here and get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with this here and then into the close here. Okay, there we are. All right, so you can see that that folks are willing to pay a premium. All right, we're above value. Okay, indicating that there is folks are willing to pay a premium. Participants are willing to pay a premium to be part of this market to the upside. Okay, price is above our settlement, above our daily VWAP, and I would assume if I open up my anchored VWAP for London, that it's above the London session as well. Okay, everything is indicating higher prices. Now, again, this 22,990, okay, could be an area. Okay, this is the average session range high. This is a statistical area that could provide maybe some resistance to this price move to the upside. We're about 9 minutes away from the open of this market, with some pretty important news that's coming. Okay, that could either help drive further momentum to the upside if there's some sort of mention of say maybe a relaxing of interest rates or anything of that sort, that could lead to even further momentum to the upside. So as traders, I would say that we need to focus on areas where we see potential support here. Okay, so this area here, assuming that we can close above this area here around let's say 22,942 does appear to be a supportive area. And then I would say down below here, I see some area of demand here around this 22,880 level. Okay, a couple areas of demand. And if I look to the left, I'm looking again, you can see that we have that resistance zone that I was mentioning earlier, that around this 23,000 level. Okay, so this is a supply zone that has shown to be resistant in the past, and I would expect that there's certainly the possibility that it could be resistant in the near future. Okay, so we have one, two, not quite reached the same area before we found some sellers, and now we are looking maybe to potentially challenge that area again here in either in this session or a session soon. Okay. All right. So headed into the session, I would say that given the price action that I'm seeing, it does appear that the market is bullish. It is coming into some areas where we could find some sellers, but I think that assuming that we can get above this 22,960 level, I think we're somewhat destined to at least reach 22,990 before we see any sellers in this market. Okay. Moving to the ES. All right. We're going to take a look at the ES in a similar vein. Opening up the daily chart. Okay, we're going to open up daily. You can see the daily chart similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ. Okay, we continue to show, I would say that it's probably even stronger. Okay. We are seeing far less overlap. Okay. Far less overlap in these candles than we saw in the NASDAQ, right? So we had a very nice move to the upside. We had a little bit of a rest, and now we are resuming our move here to the upside. Okay. So daily is giving us every indication that there is some more momentum here to the upside. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, we developed a little bit of a support here around this. Let's see, 6260 level. Okay, 6260 level was supportive here. Made an attempt here again, and found again some additional buyers here at 6260. And now we've created a couple of, I would say, rather strong bullish 4-hour candles to the upside that is breaking some structure here. Okay, to the upside. Okay, we're getting if not at 6,300, we are very close to it. Okay, so 6,300 is a area, is a price that would break some of this structure here on the left hand side. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see that we've already broken, okay, above some statistical ranges. Okay, so we managed to get to a statistical range here at 6291, and really, to be honest, did not show any signs of weakness as we approach this area. Okay, which is an indication that there's a fair amount of strength and momentum to the upside. Let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile just to confirm what I believe I know, and that is where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. And you can see that price remains or is above value, okay, indicating that there is a fair amount of interest in participating in this market to the upside. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion here for London. Okay, so right here, there's our London session. So you can see price is above settlement, above daily VWAP, above anchor VWAP, and looking to break some structure here to the left-hand side. Okay, all indications are that we could potentially continue to see price continue to move higher. Okay, now some areas that I would maybe highlight as maybe some that are resistant here. Okay, I do see this area above here, right around this average session range high, as a potential resistant area here, starting as early as 63.05 and going up as high as 63.13. This is an area that I would expect price to potentially, if not stall, at least show maybe a little bit of sign of weakness as we approach and enter this area. But I don't see anything that stands in the way at the moment of price reaching at least 63.05, maybe as high as 63.12 in this market. All right, let's go ahead now, just before the open of the session here, let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart of the, let's move to the Dow, and we'll take a look and see what the Dow is showing us here. Okay, similar to the other markets, I would say that we did have maybe a little bit more of a sign of weakness here. I would say probably a little bit weaker than maybe even the NASDAQ. Okay, we had two pretty, I would say, candles here to the bearish side. It appears that we found some buyers of this market here around 42,481, and now we are developing a bullish candle here in an otherwise market that seems to be rather bullish. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, in a similar fashion, I think closer to probably to the ES. Here, you can see that we have a series of a couple of bullish candles here on the bullish 4-hour candles here on the Dow. Okay, and that this most recent candle is looking to break above and close above this 44,660 level. Should that take place, it opens up the possibility of maybe reaching some of these highs here at 45,031. Okay. So again, candle formation is giving us an indication that this area is supportive, okay, at around 44,435. And we are starting to see some candles, some price action to indicate that it is maybe serving as a little bit of a bounce area, okay? Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to get a sense of where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. Okay, so there it is. There's the start, and we'll drag that to the close here, right about there. Okay, so you can see, similar to the other equity markets, price is above value, again indicating that there is a fair amount of interest in this market. Again, to the upside, we are above value. Okay, so this area right here should be a supportive area. This is the high end of value, should be a supportive area. We've already reached the high end of the ASR range at 44,708, and we actually are beginning to challenge this 44,700 level as a potential area that either we can maybe potentially and temporarily reverse from, or maybe use as an area, assuming that price can get above it, support. Okay, so we've just opened the session here, so we're going to go ahead and open up the initial balance range here and kind of get a sense for what the initial balance range is beginning to look like. Again, so we are at the top end of the range, and then a market that's otherwise bullish. We are a bit extended to the upside. Okay, so it would not be out of the realm of possibility that we come back and maybe revisit maybe the high end of value here. Okay, before we continue our trek or continue our march to the upside. Okay, and that would probably get us close to VWAP. So we are a bit extended to the upside, but that is not to say that we can't continue. I think it would probably be wise, if you are bullish in this market, to look for an opportunity to better manage our risk, and that would require maybe a little bit of a retracement, okay, in price. And I would say this 44,600 level would be a nice level should we receive it. We may not get it. Okay, all right. Let's make one final summary review of all the markets here, guys. Okay, so you can see here that the market, the gold market, is I would say in a bit of a range at this point. Okay, so we've been in some price action that's been relatively bearish. It appears that we found maybe an area that where price is supportive. Okay, now the question becomes: is this level 32,000 or 3,293? Is that going to remain support? Okay, we've tested this level once, twice, three times. We are at the high end of value, developing a little bit of a retracement at this point. Do we have the participants to help us drive price, to continue to drive price higher, or are we going to potentially remain in range for this market? Okay, so I would say that the market, I would say, remains bearish. Okay, I would say bearish to neutral in the gold. Okay, moving across the markets that we've discussed so far. Looking at the crude oil market does appear to continue to look rather bearish to me. We've developed a relatively large initial balance range in anticipation of the EIA report, and we're coming into some areas here at 67.45 that could potentially be supportive. Okay, otherwise, if that doesn't hold, we have the some lower levels here at 66.85 and potentially as low as 66.40. Okay, in this market. Okay, that would not be out of the realm of possibility, a range here for crude oil. All right, let's take one last look at the NASDAQ. We'll take a peek here as to what's been developing here. You can see that the market continues to rally, continues to show signs of strength. So again, entering the FOMC minutes today, it does appear that we continue to have momentum to the upside. Certainly in the NASDAQ. Okay, it appears to be the case also in the ES, and then ultimately the Dow is probably showing the weakest of the three. Okay, at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you today, guys, as far as the markets. So as we close this session and other sessions, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk again soon.